So this is how I pipe the diesel heater into the conservatory. On the right you have the hot air into the conservatory. On the left is the air being sucked into the diesel heater, the input if you like. And there's a control panel which I've mounted there. It doesn't heat the conservatory up so as you red hot. It takes a cold chill out. This conservatory is quite large, and that is one 5 kilowatt diesel heater. Yesterday was a very cold day with below freezing temperatures in January. In this conservatory it was 2 degrees C. After that had been on for an hour, it was just over 10 degrees C. So it brings the temperature up a few degrees, but it's not red hot. Obviously it depends on the temperature outside, but it's convenient because it's just a touch of a button to turn on, and you're pumping air, and you can leave it for 30 minutes and it brings the temperature up. If you want to use a conservatory for reading or exercising, it makes it bearable in here. If I light the log burner, it becomes too hot for some activities. If we look at the control display, I will mention when I show you outside the setup in the little hut arrangement that I've got, which you can see here. So if I turn this on, at the moment it's on level 3. You've got up to 5 levels. So that's level 5. Within a few minutes that's pumping out warm air out of there. So originally this was a glass panel, same as the other door. I flicked the beading out and put in a UPVC panel in there. I've kept the glass panel so that if I decide to get rid of this diesel heater, I can put it back to where it was. I'll turn that off now. So that'll go off. Okay, I'll take you outside and show you the setup outside. I will say currently I'm using red diesel. There is a local supplier I can get it from, so it's got the less tax on it, makes it more affordable to run. It's very difficult for me to say how economical it is because different people in the house turn their heater on at different times. I just top the tank up once every few days with the red diesel. I think if I was buying standard diesel from the pump, it might be an expensive way of heating this room, which is quite large. So this is the housing I made for the diesel heater. Looks a bit like a dog kennel. The materials cost about £80 for this. A little bonnet catch. Hold the lid up. So yeah, I think the diesel heater cost about £80. It comes with some bends and pipe work. This is the in-feed to the diesel heater, which draws the air out of the conservatory, so it recycles the air, hoping that generates a bit more heat, that I'm not drawing in freezing cold air from outside all the time. I did have to buy extra bends and pipe and make that arrangement up, but they're all available online. The diesel tank, which I think is a 10-litre tank, comes with the kit. Something you do have to buy is the transformer if you're installing one at home, because as you probably know, these diesel heaters are made to run off a vehicle system. You can now get the correct transformers offline for specific use for these diesel heaters for home use. Here's an advert off eBay, which is the one I'm using. 12 volt DC for that a car battery would produce. I did have some issues with the transformer that I bought originally. Although it was advertised as being 12 volt, I wasn't man enough to do the startup on the diesel heater. When it's drawing maximum amps on startup, it just wasn't up to it, and it did cause a malfunction with the keypad. So I did have to buy a new keypad. I also try focusing on it a bit better. That there is the fuel pump. I had to buy another one of them offline. There was a leak on it, the original one, and I was getting a small puddle of diesel on the floor, so I did have to replace that. But the pipe, the tank, the pipe work, fuel filter, a bit of this pipe, and the pump all come with the kit. I think the quality of some of the components, such as the pump and the fuel filter, isn't brilliant on these Chinese diesel heaters, but we're only paying around £80, or I was paying around £80 in winter of 2023. That transformer that I'm using now has been done the job good. I've had that in for 12 months now. Seems to do the job. It's not made for outdoor use, and it's not waterproof, but the shelter is rainproof. I suppose there's a possibility of getting some damp in there, but I'm hoping that the heat off the diesel heater will keep the damp away. The majority of the diesel heater itself isn't hot at all during running. The only bit that gets warm is the exhaust. In the setup I've done here, I have used some brackets that actually come with the kit to bracket the hot exhaust away from any woodwork, and that seems to be working okay. There is an air filter there. That's for the combustion chamber air in, but the actual hot air that gets recirculated comes through there from inside the conservatory.